Can something posted on social media be used against me? The answer is yes, and I see that quite often in criminal sexual conduct as well as other serious criminal cases. Let's say that you have been communicating with someone through social media, the accuser, for example, and you get talking back and forth about whether this was a consensual encounter or the like, and you're just texting back and forth, or you're using Snapchat back and forth to communicate, or Facebook Messenger, or any other social media platform. Those messages can be gotten a couple different ways. Sometimes the accuser is actually using this as a setup to communicate, to get you to say things to try to use it against you in a case. Sometimes it's law enforcement doing that with the accuser. And sometimes law enforcement just goes and gets what's called a subpoena, which is a court order to go back in time and try to retrieve old social media or other text messages between you and somebody else on there, even if you didn't know at the time that was going to be used against you later. So yes, social media can be used against you in that way. Your communications can be had even by subpoena. And if you think, well, wait a minute, I deleted them from my phone, they're gone, or I deleted them from my computer, they're not often gone. Snapchat is a little harder to recover. But things like Facebook Messenger and text messages and things like that can be gotten a couple different ways. One, through a subpoena to Facebook or to Snapchat or whoever like that, or your phone provider. Or second, if they can seize your phone and get a search warrant for your phone, they can actually go into your phone and search that. But there are other ways that social media posts can be used against you. What law enforcement sometimes will also do, either victims advocates or law enforcement, is they will tell an accuser to delete their social media profile or black it out, in other words, and only let friends and family or just family have access to it. And what other times accusers will do is that they will selectively delete things in cases. I've had cases where accusers they'll have a whole bunch of bad things against them on social media, and they wipe it all out as soon as they make an allegation, or right before the allegation, or right after the allegation, so that the truth can be hidden about them. And that's something that people ought to know as well. Other times, what accusers will sometimes do is they will actually delete certain parts of communications. So for example, let's say that you have an encounter one evening, and the next day both texting back and forth about what a great time it was. And then 3 or 4 months down the road, the accuser, for whatever reason, makes an accusation that that encounter 3 or 4 months ago was a rape because he or she was either intoxicated, or they're alleging that they were forced to do something or whatever. I've had so many defendants come to me and say, wait a minute, we were texting back and forth about what a great time it was, and she was saying how she wanted to get together with me in the future and everything. I can't believe they're making this allegation now. And I say, well, great, let's go get those communications. And they will, a lot of times these accusers will block or delete this person from their Snapchat account so that they can't recover those messages anymore, or they'll selectively delete some of these communications and turn over to law enforcement only other communications, and they'll hide the truth from that. So social media can be used against you in that way as well. It's just crazy. It's not always a good idea to have your social media account out in public. And if you're facing a serious allegation, you too may want to shut down your social media account because things could be taken in the wrong context. So there are a lot of dangers that come along with social media, and you ought to get some expert legal advice if you're facing a situation. Unfortunately, there are people that are going to manipulate the truth, and they're going to delete information that would show that you had not committed a crime. That's called exculpatory evidence. But on the flip side, you ought to know that if you're an accused person, your social media accounts, things you've done, not only that pertain to the case, but sometimes prosecutors will file a motion or police will try to dig up information that has nothing to do with this particular allegation, but that they try to put you in a bad light. That's called Spiegel evidence, evidence of other crimes, wrongs, or acts, basically to assassinate your character. And they know that if they can try to get the jury not to like you, that there's a likelihood or a chance that a jury decides a case not on whether or not the facts are that you committed a crime or not, but rather whether a jury likes you or doesn't like you. It's not supposed to work that way, but I've seen cases where that's exactly what's been tried against somebody else. If you have more questions, I'm Ryan Pasiga. You can find me at arrestedmn.com or call me at 612-339-5844.